Good evening and welcome once again to another episode of the Scouts Hot Wings Challenge. Joining me tonight is Mr. Mark Newman. Now, once again, a little bit about the Scouts Hot Wings Challenge. This was set up as a reward for the popcorn sales that they've done. And Mark, I know your Scouts have exceeded their popcorn goal. Why don't you tell us a little bit before we get started about their popcorn sales and how they did this year?
So, last couple of years, it's been a newer program for us, and the goal is around $2,000, and we actually wanted to set some higher expectations this year because we got 8 new Scouts, and I talked about this challenge, so we set it for $4,000, and then our Halloween party on Thursday night, I got to talk to the kids about what our total sales were, and we actually did $5,144, so we managed to bury that number, which was impressive because we're not a very big troop, so I was really proud of the kids.
That is awesome, but it put you in the hot seat tonight. And first of all, I want to apologize because as you can see, my board is clear tonight. I rode this roller coaster last night, and I can tell you it's an incredible ride, but I wasn't ready to do it 2 nights in a row. For the people that did not see the other episode, most of the time with your hot wings, you will start off with maybe a Frank's Red Hot. This comes in at about 450 Scovilles. As you can see, the lid is still on it. We are not using this. We start off with the Classics Hot One sauce. That rings in at 1,800 Scovilles, or 4 times hotter than the traditional Frank's Red Hot. If you would like to start, if you're a little bit hungry, how are you with hot sauces?
I do okay. The hottest I've ever had is about 800,000 Scoville units, so I know there's a few that are going to be over that number tonight.
We're going to eclipse that. You will have a new total tonight. So, before we go any farther, I want to take a minute, or a wing, and have you tell me a little about yourself. I know you're a father of 3, a UC graduate, and a designer with Sins Lohman.
Yes.
Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And of course, a Cub Scout leader as the pack chairman, correct?
Yes.
What else am I missing?
We're an active family. Kids do a lot of sports and extracurricular activities. It's kind of how Jack got into Scouts. We weren't originally planning on doing any leadership roles. We had a couple guys that were already taking care of that, and their kids aged out of Webelos, so they were looking for the parents coming up to kind of take over. So a couple guys, Clint and John and I, decided to kind of take over the pack. Made Clint Cub Master. I got to be committee chair, and then we really started trying to recruit. We only had about 12 kids after that set of Webelos aged out. And this year we've got 24. So in 2 years, we managed to grow the pack a little bit, including each year losing a couple Webelos, but getting a few more kids in there.
Awesome. How many kids do you have now?
I have 3.
No, in the pack.
24.
24.
Yeah, so we've grown. Nice, yeah, I mean, that's a good size pack for us. Not a very big school.
All right, well, if you're ready to move on, the next hot sauce is the Hippy Dippy Green, the Angry Goat Company, and it's coming in at 2,300 Scovilles.
It says avocado and kiwi.
Avocado and kiwi.
Let's see if this got any avocado taste in it.
I was actually clearing some of the wings early on. They're really pretty good. The sauces in the early going are not bad. The problem is they don't stay there for long.
No, that's true.
And they kind of increase a little bit exponentially.
The flavor on that one's good, though.
All right.
It's kind of like green sauce.
The next question, courtesy of Sean Workman. Explain to me, who is Princess Fifi?
All right, so this is a long story, and we don't have that much time to go into it. But Sean's wife, Stacy, and I are very close, and we hit it off early on when they first started dating before they got married. And every couple of years, she comes up with a new nickname for me. and she's occasionally picked my my Xbox call signs and things like that. So currently Darth Noomsy. It's like as other ones that she'd given me. But yeah, that was one that she gave me a number of years ago. She just said I felt like I was a Fifi, and that was my nickname.
And the other one was Dark Newsom?
Darth Noomsy is my current Xbox tag thing, so she wanted to put a Darth in there, but my nickname was Noomsy first. That was my first nickname that Stacy gave me, and I've had Sparkles and some other ones down the road. So Princess Fifi, she hasn't let go. That's about 4 years now. It's stayed
Careful
a while.
around your eyes.
No, I'm only eating with one hand.
Okay.
So plan is that this hand is free the whole time. This is the wing hand.
Any other names that you can think of that she came up with? Is there a long list?
There's 6 or 8, but those are good.
All right. With that, then we'll move on to our third wing, which is the pineapple habanero hot beet hot sauce, coming in at 12,200 Scovilles.
I like a couple mango habaneros. I haven't had a pineapple habanero.
I had one last night. I don't remember much of it. It kind of passed quickly.
No pun intended.
No. All right. You show University of Cincinnati graduate from 1995. You were there from 1987 through 1995. Is that correct?
Yeah, I took a couple years off to play baseball for UC.
All right. Well, what was your most memorable moment from the 1991-1992 Elite Four basketball season with Bob Huggins?
Well, Coach Huggins was very animated on the court. I love that. My most memorable moment was, I'd met Nick Van Exel when he was a freshman at the local Buffalo Wings and Rings, or BW3, because he liked to hang out there a lot with a lot of big dudes that you couldn't get too close to him. But I got to meet him one night, and he was just a lot of fun to watch on the court. Curtis Bostic. Kansas got knocked out in the second round, number 1 seed, and the other number 2 seed was out, and I thought, this would be our chance at a run. Ran up against a very good Michigan team that later became the Fab Five, so that was tough. And we only lost by 2 points, 3 points, and then Duke ended up beating him by 20. It wasn't a very good final, but that was a fun team to watch. There was great chemistry for those couple years that he was coaching, and it was fun to watch Bob on the court.
Big sports fan. What's your top 3?
Top 3 sports.
NFL, NBA.
It's baseball,
hockey.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah, I watch every playoff, even if the Reds aren't in it, which they aren't very often. I go through every World Series game for the last 20 years. It's like I live for the moments, the clutch moments, the highlights, the great performances. Sometimes the fallen performances of one player you expect to do something great, and then it doesn't work out. Like poor Kershaw missing a couple opportunities there. But yeah, baseball. Sand volleyball I like. My kids play volleyball. Jack's a volleyball player, indoor. And I like playing volleyball too.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's moving on. The next one we have is the Ghost Pepper and Blueberry from the Bravado Spice Company, and we're jumping up to 28,000 Scovilles here.
You can definitely
That's
see the
blueberry. That's not
color.
burnt.
Yeah.
We didn't burn the wing that bad.
Blueberry flavor is good.
All right.
It's got some zing too.
Yeah. Explain what makes your pack unique.
Take a drink of water here real quick.
No, that's fine. If you want to move on and we can dispose of that one, we'll get you plenty of napkins as we go along.
Just run out of places I don't want to touch certain areas of my face. For me, I wanted to do a couple things that maybe other packs didn't do. So one thing that we tried was we did rockets. And the first year was a big success. We had a guy that had a couple stands. We bought a bunch of SC rockets, let the kids decorate them and shoot them off. And that for us has become almost as big as our Pinewood Derby, because the kids love, because we let them pick. It's different models and stuff. Pinewood Derby is always a big thing. We always do a siblings rivalry race. Mm-hmm. So if there's a brother or sister that's not in Scouts but that wants to make a car. Last year we had a new girl in our Scout pack, Olivia, and she actually won the Pinewood Derby. So that was the first time we had a girl win the Pinewood Derby. Dad helped a bit, but we
I
had
think
some
every
good.
scout has
Yeah,
helped
we
at the
had
time
some
with
good sibling rivalries there, brothers and sisters racing off against each other and stuff. So that, I mean, other than that, trying to get the kids more into the events like the spookery, the cubbery. Some of that stuff is a little daunting because they don't want to go by themselves. But we've been having first because we're such a young pack. Our pack's only 6 years old, so we haven't been around very long. I think from what we've done 2 years ago to now, we've grown a lot and done a lot more activities that I think the kids get excited about. We're going to go to Right Pat this year. We haven't been to Right Pat, and we're trying to do some extracurricular like Saturday activities and want to get the kids to the Air Force Museum and see some of the space stuff because it is space themed this year for the popcorn sales. So we added that to our list for something for the kids to do.
How much popcorn did your son sell this year, and how much has he sold, kind of guesstimate, over his scouting career so far?
Sorry, you do this when I get crackers in my mouth, and they're dry. So first year, we didn't even do popcorn. Unfortunately, the scout leaders didn't even have it on their radar, and it was a lot of stuff out of parents' pockets. We wanted to kind of change that. So first year we did it, Jack got about 1,200, just over 1,200, and he was very excited because we got to go to the movie event, and that was fun because it was just he and I, no girls, no mom, just son and dad. And then the following year, he just hit 1,200 as well. So this year he set his goal at 2,600. He wanted to try to do that scholarship program. He liked the idea of that, and we did just over 18. So that was a huge jump from last year. But I told him I didn't know we could do it in a year. This was the first year we tried Kroger's and storefronts. We only signed up for one Kroger's because we wasn't sure how we would do. And I had 8 scouts, and we did about $600 or $700. It wasn't a stellar night, but it was exposure. The best one was probably our local. We have a Revolution rotisserie. There's one at Findlay Market and one in Pleasant Ridge now. And they let us do a couple storefronts. In the last weekend, we were trying to hit that number, and we did about $750 in 2 days from like 10 to 2, just catching Saturday and Sunday brunch crowd, people coming out of church. So Jack was excited because we got over the 4,000. We were just right at it. So he
was looking forward to making you go through this.
Yeah, so. I don't know that he was looking forward to it. I think he was just curious. Speaking of Jack, how are you doing in the booth? You want to try a wing, buddy?
All right, we are up to wing number 5, and this is one of the Hot Ones sauces. That is Los Calientes. It's one of the sauces that they make.
It looks like a green sauce, too. I wonder what kind of... Now that's got heat. As soon as it hits your lips. And you can smell it.
All right, on Hot Ones, they do the segment Explain the Gram.
Uh-oh.
We're going to have to do Explain the Photo. I've sent it into the control booth, so I'll have them pull it up. But I will show you here the mound on the kitchen table, and I'd like you to explain kind of what you have going on there.
I don't even know where that photo came from. That's pretty interesting. So,
looks like you have roughly about 1 million Legos.
Yep, no, it is 1 million Legos. So my son, we got to a point where we were kind of bored and wanted to be, that true master builder so you could create stuff and make stuff. And then he wanted to put together a couple sets that we had that were older that he wanted to rebuild. We had to go through all those to find the pieces to rebuild the 2 smaller Lego Star Wars sets that we were trying to make. So the only way we could do that was dump all the tubs in one big pile. Okay, we're looking for a black 2x2. We're looking for a 1x4 white piece so we can sit there. And we rebuilt them out, but it was easier to spread all on that big towel and find them than it was to try to dig through a bin one at a time.
Looking through 1 million different pieces spread out on the kitchen table for the 2x2.
Yeah, Jack says he appreciated that. We'll see to this day.
All right. Well, I'm sure Jack appreciated that, but that brings us to our next photo. And you want to explain that one for us?
My daughters wanted me to show them how to hold a baby. Not necessarily burp a baby, but I told them Jack was born. He was a month early, so I could hold Jack from like the crook of my elbow to the palm of my hand. It's like a little tiny kid, like all legs and everything. And my 2 daughters, Madeline and Ellie, wanted me to show them how to hold a baby. And of course, once you get American Girl dolls, and you ladies here that have American Girl dolls, you know, as a dad with little girls, you get to dress and undress them a lot because they're hard to get their outfits on and off. And so when I got their jammies on, I had to show them how we would rock a baby to sleep.
No, my daughter, who's also in scouting, has her American Girl doll, and she was actually a model for the American Girls with a doll dressed identical to her at one point in time. So
that's cool. I'm sure you've been to the American Girl doll store in Columbus.
We actually went to Chicago.
Chicago, so. Gotcha. There's a lot of stuff
yes.
for girls to get.
All right, so moving on. Wing number 6 is from Adobo Loco. It is Faya Faya, and it is coming in at 98,000 Scovilles.
4-pepper sauce blend, it says. I'm going to switch these. Keep putting my water in the front. All right. Do I have to say Faya Faya when I eat it? Faya Faya, because it's Faya Faya.
Now, eating that one last night, I don't think that one was extremely hateful. It was definitely, it has a good heat to it, but it's still within that moderate range of not get incapacitating, which we may get there still.
But it's not a lot. As they get hotter, they sometimes lose some of the flavor. Like that doesn't have a lot of flavor compared to the ghost pepper and blueberry was really good.
All right.
That's my favorite so far.
Still speaking about the girls, I know you have a daughter and that she was a Brownie in the Girl Scouts. Has she transitioned into the Boy Scout BSA as a Cub Scout? Do you have a mixed pack?
We had a girl last year and we have one girl this year. The goal is to try to get a couple 3 because I think Olivia didn't come back this year, so we got a different girl. But I think they have friends from the school, but they're not doing things together. And I think, just like boys, sometimes you need to run around in a group or like have some affinity with, hey, I'm making this Pinewood Derby car, I'm making this rocket. Like, with only one, it's kind of hard. But you know, we make it work. Ellie has a lot of good friends that she plays soccer with that are in Girl Scouts. I don't suspect that she'll come to Cub Scouts. She likes that camaraderie. She loves the vest with all the patches and badges, and I tell her, well, we never get that. And she always teases Jack. She's like, Jack, you only just got those 3. Like, she's the whole thing. Like, well, I told her, we can get a vest. I just don't know what to put on it. But
and I will say that Girl Scouts is a wonderful program. I know the Brownies, 2 different programs, equally with great merit and great thing for the kids. And again, more than happy to offer the scouting program to both boys and girls, Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts. I know I also come from a blended troop, so.
Yeah, and it's nice. We get a couple that are interested each year coming to a couple meetings. Like I said, there's always 4 or 5 girls that do the Pinewood Derby. But again, that's more of that sibling rivalry thing, so you got to have that.
All right.
I'm going to get my milk out. I'm going to pour it.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit serious here.
Put it in my stein, just to prepare myself for my Viking stein. That's one of those things where it kind of burns your lips.
Yep. All right, up next is the Garlic Reaper by Torchbearer Sauces, coming in at 138,000 Scoville. Are you ready for it?
Let's see which one I bit into. 3 left plus that one, right? Yep.
Correct.
Garlic Reaper. How many Scoville? How many thousand?
It should be 138,000 Scoville.
Well, see that one, the flavor is a lot better than the Faya Faya, which is just heat. The flavor on that one's really good.
Yeah, the flavor on it's really good. It will kind of creep up on you the longer it kind of sits in your mouth and you can start to feel it, or at least
that was what you experienced last night?
The effect I had last night was...
You're speaking from experience.
And they just keep building, so yes. If you had to pick a single part of the Scout law, explain which one you think is most important and why.
Having an older boy and 2 younger girls, kindness. We preach it to the pack. I mean, all of them. I mean, I want the kids to be, courteous and thrifty and all that stuff, but kindness is a big deal. You only get one chance to make a first impression. Sometimes you're put in a situation that, you have to, grin it and bear it to say, I know this isn't what I want to do, but sometimes it's hard to do that. But, when the kids fight over Legos and some things like that, I'm like, look, in the grand scheme of things, this is not an A-list thing. This is not a real world, first world problems. Exactly. It's not that important in the grand scheme. You're going to be challenged by a lot more things as you get older. I want you to be ready for those. So that's why I teach them the leadership stuff and the independence. Kids go to a Montessori school, that independent classwork stuff is really big because it carries over at home. And they have school at home. My son has a projector and a screen, and they actually have class on the weekends. Like, he teaches a class for the girls and stuff, so it's really, really cute. He already knows he wants to be a teacher.
Oh, wow.
When he was 5, he said, I'm going to teach school. To be older. But you're right, the water doesn't help.
No, the water does not help at all. The water helps me because I'm just speaking and I'm not diving into the wings, but
Yep.
I know for you where you stand over there, having been in your shoes last night, I know sometimes you just need a little bit of time.
Well, that's the first one that's made my nose run. I got a couple more of my oyster crackers, but
I have news for you. It won't be the last.
No, I'm sure that it's not going to be. I'm going to have to throw that bag away now that I've touched it with this hand. I'm never going to be able to eat those again.
All right. So are you ready to move on?
Yep, unless you got another question, I'm good.
All right.
Just burn after eating.
The next one is burn after eating karma sauce. Now we're getting up there, 669,000 Scovilles.
Wow. All right, Mick, I'm going to tell you this is the top of my tier of what I've had as far as
Kind of the end of your comfort zone, or were you even comfortable at that level eating that sauce?
No, it was one of those ones where you had to sign a waiver. So it was really hot. Wow. That one is fire as soon as it hits your tongue. Woo!
Yeah, that's the one that kind of did me in last night, and unfortunately I think I had audience members just laughing.
Wow, that's got smoke and fire.
Yeah, for us, this was the ice cream break. It took us a while to get our bearings after that one, and
that's hot.
I was hoping for more of a delay, for moving on. But I'll at least ask you a question.
That's the first one that's burned the back of the throat. Like the mouth and cheeks, but usually the throat can take it for a minute. That one actually will tickle down here. One of these questions, I might have to cough through it.
All right. Which of the popcorns featured in the Trails End popcorn sale is your favorite? Chocolate caramel corn. Have you tried them all?
Yes. One year we had a couple people that bought popcorn from us and didn't follow through on buying the popcorn, so we ended up with a couple extra bags. So we got to try them all. But we're a very diverse household. The wife is salted caramel corn. Kids can't have it or touch it. That's off limits. Jack and I like
my favorite too. So
Jack and I like the chocolatey caramel corn, and we do like the caramel corn with nuts.
How many of the different popcorns can you name right now with the Scoville starting to affect the brain cells?
We've got the popping corn, caramel corn, the big bag white cheddar, unbelievable butter microwavable, kettle corn microwavable, chocolatey caramel crunch, caramel corn with nuts, the chocolate lovers tin, the cheese lovers tin available only online, trail mix, and there's one more. One of the caramel corns, I can't think of it.
I think you got the caramel corn with nuts, the chocolatey caramel corn. I think you nailed them all. I've got my list here, and I'm looking at it, and
I'm trying to think if I'm not missing one caramel corn, I guess, with the nuts and the chocolatey and the salted. So that's the three.
That's it. So very good. I'm not sure I could have run through it at this point last night. In fact,
you got to remember, I'm also the popcorn colonel, so I got to spend all that time doing that on the website and itemizing everyone out and ordering all the bags. So, and my tongue's still on fire.
Yeah, this one sticks around for a little bit. And what's worse is
that monkey tail I ate was like that too.
we have to
Ask me to
keep
do another
rolling.
one? Yeah.
So
How are we doing on time?
we're doing good. We got all the time. Moving on, next is the Mad Dog 357, 25th anniversary edition.
It says it's made with plutonium.
So it's coming in at 1 million Scoville. So
This will be hotter than anything I've ever eaten.
This is a new threshold for you.
It is. This is one of those ones that's going to be like that monkey tail where it just burns as soon as it hits the side of your mouth.
Getting kind of difficult to do the one-handed wing challenge.
I could use a napkin though.
We got plenty more coming in.
Woo! I think that's the one where Eldris Elba said the same thing. Woo!
All right.
I've gotten heat.
What is your greatest adventure in Cub Scouting been to this point, and do you have a unique story you can share with us?
Yes. And yes. I had too much skin on that one. I guess you got a big bite of just like the wing, and I ended up pulling like half the skin off, which has all the sauce. Wow. That's hot. All right, so 2 years ago, first pack camp out. We never had a pack camp out before. So we get like 12 or 14 kids, go into Richmond, way up on the hill, cleared the top of the hill with this big log cabin, kind of could see the river and stuff, like a really, really, hold on a second, man. Woo. We get to the top of the hill, we're driving out there, a storm chasing us. We're like, really gonna rain on our first camp out. Storm goes, place is on wind, high speed, water.
You're struggling there.
Yeah. Because I need it to keep burning for a minute. And we're sitting there trying to put up our tents in the rain. The folks are super nice, and they said, hey, we got this big wraparound porch if you want to set up your things. So we kind of set up, had to cook our hot dogs and stuff like on their deck around the side of the, that's really hot. Oh, shit. That's not going away. I'm going to stay around for about an hour.
Yeah, that one stuck with me last night. And we were trying everything to get over the top of this one.
Oh man, that's hot.
It takes a while.
Whose idea was this? I'm gonna get.
I think that's the same thing I said last night. I think pretty much verbatim, as I looked around and said, "Who thought this was going to be a good idea?"
I remember Eldris Elba asking the camera person whose idea, and he points over to that guy. He's like, "You want to fight?" It's one of my favorite lines in the thing. Like, give me a minute for the crackers, because that was really hot.
You're fine. It does. It took me a minute last night, so I certainly want to make sure you've got a minute because
way too much skin. I had to learn that next time. Get a good bite into the legs. Someone all legs.
Well, the good news is, saved your leg for the last one.
That was very nice of you.
Which is the last stab. Now,
I shouldn't have let it touch my chin. That was really hot. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, finish your.
So storm rolls in. We're sitting there. We're trying to put up tents. We're getting in a tent. All of a sudden, hear this crack. A whole tree, like 50 feet away from us, falls in the forest from the windstorm. Luckily, we told the scouts we couldn't set up any tents in the woods. They had to stay like in the greener area around the house. Tree comes crashing down. Couldn't tell where it was coming from. Another tree comes right after that. We go down to try to find it. A giant tree fell over the driveway. It was like this big whole tree falls over the driveway. So luckily the folks that lived there were home. The guy said this happens like once a year, had the chainsaw. So all the scouts go down there. He's cutting off branches. We're dragging off pieces, cutting off logs. And then so the whole pack's down there. We got to cut up a tree, helping out. And that was pretty fun.
That is
And
awesome.
then like by midnight it cleared, and then the next morning we had a big fire. We showed the kids how to build a fire.
Plenty of wood.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty, because it was
Green.
probably dry. Well, no, I mean, it was an older tree, so you could tell like it had probably rotten a little bit. But, bacon, eggs, and all that stuff. And then the next morning we had target practice. I'm going to get water all over me. And the kids got to do target practice. And so we were plinking with cans and stuff. And Jackson actually got first place for the pistol, which was kind of cool. So that was kind of neat because we'd never done the plinking before at the pack. So we had a couple of fun experiences. Lips are still on fire.
Well, that is awesome, but it brings us up to the last wing, the last dab. Traditionally in scouting, you don't go swimming in a deep end alone. So Shannon, will you do me a favor? Bring me my wing. I have, having done this last night, run the whole wing challenge that you've done, I will join you here as I have one prepared with the last dab sauce. And as always is tradition.
Well, always tradition on the show.
And I did it last night.
We can make a different tradition here.
And my son last night decided
oh, man.
not to, but I'll add a little extra here.
Did your son eat all of them? I can't remember if he did try them all or not.
My son cleared the board.
Impressive.
He opted not to dab the last wing, but he did clear the board.
I'm scared.
So if you don't know, this is the last dab, Triple X. It's got all three of the Pepper X's in there, Pepper X, Peach Pepper X, and Chocolate Pepper X. And it's coming in at just over 2 million Scoville.
Oh, man. And I have to eat that dab.
Yep. Mark.
Cheers.
Cheers. Been a pleasure. Here we go. Back in the pool again for me. All right, now with 2 million Scovilles running through your brain, explain to the viewers the concept of taking a 1 foot hike. And do you know what rank has to complete that task?
A 1 foot hike. I want to say it's one of the younger packs. It's either lion or tiger. Because we just went through the books with we got 2 new den leaders this year that have never done it before, so we were kind of going through their list of stuff. I'm gonna go with tiger.
It is a tiger. And what is the concept of a 1 foot hike? How do you take a hike that's 1 foot?
I don't remember the exact concept. I'm trying to remember. It's just getting him the idea that one.
Too much heat running through?
No, it just starts one step at a time, or putting 1 foot in front of the other. But I know that's not. Or
right. within the area of 1 foot, wherever you're standing, look around and observe all the nature that's taking place.
That's
the
correct.
Leaves, the insects, the birds, the animals, the squirrels. Everything that surrounds you in nature.
See, Jack did that.
Where you stand.
Jack did that 3 years ago. So, for the 3 years ago, we took like a piece of rope and we made a circle and then had him stand in that and identify like all the different stuff. I have to tell you, if I'm being honest, that one is not as bad as the Mad Dog.
Yeah, the run up
to me,
that.
Oh my goodness. Like, I think because again, I got so much skin versus a regular bite that it melted my face. This one is, I'm not going to be outdone.
Well, I haven't had anything to eat. I didn't eat dinner, so this is
not a great choice for you. Anybody got one more napkin? I'll be great.
Well, Mark, congratulations. You ran the table, 10 wings up, 10 wings down.
And I got the second bite in on that one. Thanks for doing that with me again.
No problem. Thank you.
Scout Leader fist bump for that.
Anything else you want to do? Look at any camera of your choice.
Sorry.
Tell them about your pack.
All the ice came at once. So we do a big Halloween thing, which just ended. Kids love doing we turn them loose in a graveyard and then let them do a bunch of rubbings. I give them a scavenger hunt. So, and last year the hardest one to find was they had to find a Revolutionary Soldier plaque. Then they bring all the rubbings and then they get like their prize bag basically, which has like some candy and some things like that and some toys and stuff. So the kids we had a really good turnout for that. But the thing that the kids love is the mummy wrapping. So we get a couple cases of toilet paper and the kids pair off, and then they have to wrap each one up like a mummy head to toe, and then they switch, and whoever wins gets like prizes, skull bowling, some things like that. So we just finished that. And then our next big event is, for the 4th year in a row, the Caring Place, which is a local food pantry, which we actually did some of our military donations to this year. We actually helped them pack all their Thanksgiving bags for all the local families that they donate Thanksgiving meals for. And that's really cool because, giving back to the community is a big thing. We teach the kids that. Like I said, we've done this for a couple different years. We did it with Crossroads Community Church one time, and then we've done other stuff in the neighborhood too, pick up trash around the school and the church and things like that. So I think during the holiday time coming up that's a really big thing for them to be a part of.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Mark Newsom, PAC 25, Pleasant Ridge.
That was hot. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Woo!